I'm Frank Klesitz, Viral Marketing. We got the Kyle Whissel here that you guys all know, and we're going to give you some of the topics that you can publish on social media or in your videos and your newsletters that are getting the most engagement. So before I give them to you, which I'll post the links here in the chat here in a minute, I want to do a little exercise to show you how we come up with these topics. I think this might be a little instructive. So no matter what industry you're in or what business you're in, you probably have customers. And those customers have needs. Those customers have questions. The best way to come up with a topic is to be talking to your prospects and customers all the time and to be listening to the questions they're asking. And then you just come up with a list of all those questions and then you answer them. And what you'll find is the questions seem kind of like naive and maybe simple. But the reality is those are the questions people are asking. And if you just title the video, that question, or you title the blog post, that question, you're supplying demand. And it guarantees that the material is always relevant versus you kind of coming up with a topic in your own head. So a little thing I like to do first is, and we do this with Kyle to come up with his topics, but if it's possible for you guys to pull up the chat, all right? So pull up the chat here on the Zoom webinar and make sure it says to everyone, and please participate if you can, because this is kind of cool. We're going to crowdsource some topics. Could you please type in the number one question you're getting from consumers right now? What is the number one question you're hearing over and over? The most commonly asked question, type it into the chat. What is the number one question you're hearing from consumers? Come play along. When I get larger webinars, we'll come up with all these things up in the chat. Hopefully it's available for everyone. Is it working? I don't see anything yet.
I don't see anything either.
Maybe everyone's on their phones.
Yep.
But go into the chat and type in what's the number one question consumers are asking. Or maybe everyone's here and they don't know what people are asking and they're trying to get it from us.
Some people are saying that chat is disabled.
Chat's disabled. Let's change that. Now, why is that?
Yeah, they're throwing it in the Q&A.
Oh, Q&A. All right. Sound good. How do I undisable chat?
No idea.
Security? I don't know.
Fine, throw your questions in the Q&A. It's fine.
Yeah, put your questions in the Q&A. So in the Q&A, put the question that consumers are asking, number one. Open up the Q&A option on your webinar or on your Zoom webinar. What's the number one question you're getting from consumers right now? And what you think is the most common might be different from someone else. And go ahead and write it in the Q&A. And we'll see if we can get that to work. Is the housing market going to crash? Are prices going to keep going down? Should I wait for the market to crash? Is the market going to crash? Yeah, look at that. Keep going. What else? What's the number one question you're getting from consumers? Put it in the Q&A. I wish I could make it a little more active than that. Sometimes we get like 100 different questions here if I actually got the chat working. So here's the deal. We come up with all these different questions. And then we just Google the question. This is literally how we write the scripts. You Google the question, and there's plenty of answers. And then you kind of piece together your answer with like 3 key talking points. So you can answer however you want, but you come up with 3 key talking points to answer the question. And then you have the basis for your script. So here's something that's sent over to Kyle that he can choose from to make his life easy because he's running around doing all this different work and he has to come up with something to say on video for your video shoots, Brian. I'm going to post the first option here in the chat for you. So hopefully you guys can see the chat. If I put something in the chat, can you guys see it? Did that show up for you, Kyle?
I can see it.
Cool. So let's take a look here. What exactly do you need to pull off a really good video script? Let's take a look. All right. So here's a good example. So how do I buy before I sell my home? That's kind of a hot one right now. Like, how can I get a power buyer cash offer? So I can find a home to buy before I sell my current one, so I'm not timing 2 mortgage payments. So here you have it. If you're kind of sitting down, here's the question: how do I buy before I sell? You essentially probably want to come up with what would you title the YouTube video, or what would you title the blog post? What's the description for the YouTube video? Or maybe what do you put in the email that goes out to get someone to click to watch the video to come back and watch it? What are some call to actions that you want to put in the email or in the YouTube description, and some hashtags, and maybe an idea for a thumbnail? These are kind of a wider scope of a script, right? These are kind of all the things you need to think about before you publish content. And then, what are the tags? What are you going to put in there? Maybe for YouTube. And then depending upon the service that you use to send an email out to your database that you created this new video, what are some of the subject lines you can use? And some of these email service providers, you can put in like 3 different subject lines. They'll send like 100 emails out, see which one got the highest open rate, and then mail the rest with the best open rate, which is kind of nice. So then you kind of come down to the video. And here's how I'd structure a video: question, story, and answer. So, hey, this is Kyle, and maybe asking a question: how do I buy a house before selling my old home? Little logo comes in. You can say, buying before you sell comes with risk, but some planning, you can make it work. And maybe you can tell a story about how you help somebody. And then you have 3 talking points about how you can do a buy before you sell offer. Make an offer with a home sale contingency, finance with a bridge loan, or use one of these third-party services that you can mention, like Knock or Homeward, or what are some other buy before you sell providers that agents can partner with, Kyle?
Home Light's the one that we use a lot. That's our go-to.
That's your go-to? Is
Yep.
Homeward in California yet?
No.
Not yet. They might be there. And that's it. So that right there is probably maybe a 2 to 3 minute video of saying, here's a question I get all the time, and I want to answer it for you. And here's 3 key points to take away with your answer. All right. And you can change it however you want. And there's a couple other things on here I won't go into, but that's one of the first scripts you can use. What we found is sending out options where people can buy before they sell is a pretty hot topic right now. And there's a script you can put together and send it out. Sound good? There you go. Let me get another one. I'll put this in the chat. There's number 2. This is a pretty popular one. What happens if interest rates go up or down while under contract? And you see this with like people, backing out of their offers. But rates have been low, but they're raising rates. And what happens if you're under contract and your rate lock is up and your rate goes up? Do you lose the house? Do you have any other options? Well, watch this video. I'm going to give you 3 key things you need to know when it comes to that. So I sent you guys the YouTube calls to action, the thumbnail idea, the subject line, the question, the story, and the answer. Again, the video is very simple. Here's a question I get asked all the time. Here's a little story to set up why I'm answering this question. And then you provide 3 key points with your answer. That's it. And you'll notice that we keep these incredibly simple. You're super welcome to add more to it, elaborate on it. But what we find is the shorter the script and the shorter their information, the more likely it gets done to get started. And then you're more welcome to add something else to your talking points to get you started. So that's another really hot one of a video that you put together and send out. And what's really nice with the 3 key talking points, if you keep that in mind with your answers for all your videos, once you record the full video, I don't know, might be 2, 3, 4 minutes long. How long do you keep your videos these days, Kyle, for a YouTube video? You're muted.
I feel like I keep going longer and longer. I got more to talk about lately. So we traditionally try to stay 3 to 5 minutes has been the target, but I think we've been doing so much topical stuff lately with inflation and interest rates. I'm going 5 to 7 lately.
Cool. Yeah. So a little bit longer, right? So as you build more confidence and you can add on to your script with your topics and that type of structure, you can go a little bit longer. What's nice when Kyle makes a 5 to 7 minute video, and if he's really kind of on point with like his key points, like there's key points he wants to make in the video, like talking points, you can grab those as clips and turn those into shorter reels or stories or whatever the platform calls them, shorts on YouTube. And
yeah, I'll say
easy
Gary Vee talked at an event in Vegas a few weeks ago, and his number 2 platform to be focused on right now is YouTube Shorts, above TikTok, which Gary Vee's been like the biggest TikTok guy in the world for 5 years. He's more a fan of YouTube Shorts than TikTok right now. The reason being is that YouTube, you can search for the behavior on TikTok is just to load, swipe, 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 swipe. People rarely search on TikTok, but the behavior pattern on YouTube is to search. And so to take those short videos and put them into YouTube as YouTube Shorts, those will not just be hot for a minute like a TikTok video, but those can be hot for years because they'll be searchable for eternity. So Gary's very, very big on YouTube Shorts right now.
And what's nice about that, if you record a longer video, maybe 5 minutes long or so, 3 to 5 minutes. And again, if you follow this format for your videos, the question, story, answer. Here's a question I get all the time. Let me tell the story behind it. Let me tell my answer. Let me give you 3 points for my answer. Just follow that formula all the time. You can go in, the editor can pull each one of those little talking points, convert the video from horizontal to vertical, and now you have your short. Easy peasy. And you can post it wherever you want. As long as you follow that format. It's really hard that if you don't follow a format in your long form video, going in there and trying to get the shorts out of it's kind of a disaster. But if you stick with the 3 key points, makes it easier. All right. So here's kind of maybe one of the assignments you guys can take from today. I've given you 2 scripts, but more from like a wider standpoint of like, here's everything that you need to kind of come up with up front for subject lines, headlines, teaser copy, the format for maybe how I do a video from a Q&A standpoint to make sure your content's always relevant. Now what we can do is, Carissa, do you think prices will go down? Or Jasmine, can I just see the house without pre-approval? Or Kim Meeker, will reach it? Will interest rates come down again to 3%? All we have to do is just literally Google that question. And the answer is right there on page 1. Just pick any 3 key points that you like, that you think are relevant. All right. And you put it together with that type of script. One of the things that we use at Viral is copy.ai. There's actually a whole bunch of them now that will come up with some good subject lines and good headlines using like artificial intelligence to kind of figure out, okay, what's going to get the best click-through rate. And now you have a really cool script. So that's a cool process I thought I would share with everyone, where it's like, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming to figure out what I have to say. But let's just go back a little bit. What did we do? We sat down, we figured out what are the most pressing questions we're getting all the time from our customers. Then we Google the question to come up with maybe what the answer should be, almost as a mental shortcut. Now we have to take that information and put it into a script. And I gave you the formula right there based upon the first 2. Whether if maybe you don't like the first 2 topics that are there, you want to try something else based upon what came up in the Q&A. And now you're ready to shoot. You're ready to create some content. How's that, Kyle? You know the process.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. A couple other tips too on that. One, anytime you're on, like you and I now, not a webinar, we're going to
break it up, Kyle.
You should, let me put my phone back up. Anytime you're going to be on a webinar where you're going to be adding some value, you're going to be talking, whether you're on a webinar, podcast, anything like that, you should have your phone set up next to your webcam. And you should be recording the entire thing. And then as you're saying stuff, when you say something that was really good, like something that was, we call them a banger, something that was like, that really hit hard. What you do then is just take your hand and put it over your phone. So literally do this and then move it away. And what you can do then at the end of that webinar or mastermind, whatever it is that you're on, you can then send that footage over to a VA. And then the VA knows to look anytime they see this with the hand, that means that's a sign of like, that was a really good clip, like grab that clip. And now they can grab clips and they can start making short form videos out of it for you. Yeah. So we're obsessed over like trying to find as many ways to get content out of the things that we're already doing. So whether you're podcasting, masterminding, webinaring, you're just coaching your agents or anything where like you're talking, record it. You don't need to go out of your way to create videos. Just document the things you're already doing and then create videos from what you're documenting.
Great. One of the things we started doing, Kyle, is literally just for that. I don't think it's this one, but all of our new customers get a tabletop tripod, something like this. I don't know if this is the exact one, but here's kind of the idea. Something like that, right? So you just set that up with your phone, right when you're doing a webinar or something like that, and record everything and get the clips. Yep. And now there's this really cool service called Riverside to record. This is something to look into that makes it really easy to record videos right to the hard drive, so they're lossless to create content. I have more things I want to cover than that, but it is really simple to gather the actual work of gathering high quality video by having your phone sitting here or using a webcam. And it's only, the technology is only getting better. The challenge is just like, gosh, I'm so overwhelmed with what to say, which is why you guys are all here. And we gave you the framework for that. Now I want to give you guys another script. And this is something we're sending out for you, Kyle, because it's super nice to send these videos out, right? So, okay, we post these YouTube shorts. Great. We send these videos out to your database. Great. You know, we post these things on social media. Great. Like, where's the business, right? So yeah, it's good for your brand. People get to know where you are. People get to see you and trust you. And sure, we all know that at some point that fuels business, but it's kind of like, you know, here's all this work to like, did it really do anything? You don't quite feel it. Like, is there some way to bridge the gap? Well, the first way is, you know, taking the names of all the people that watch the video. So let's say you send out a video on, you know, should I sell my home this fall? Should I sell my home this summer? Right? Something super simple. You know, you can actually track all the people that actually clicked that link in that email that took time out of their day to like, you know, watch it. And when you start getting into fancy CRMs, you're buying what's called like an activity feed, where you can see who's visiting the website and who's clicking links and emails. And usually the sales team prioritizes to follow up with those people. It's the same thing with video is, Kyle sends these videos out, and depending upon what system you use, you should probably prioritize some phone call follow-up with people who took time out of their day to click through and watch a video on selling their home, right, Kyle?
Yeah. The follow through is the most important part. Like, it's cool to get views and clicks, but the fact that we know who's viewed, who's clicked, who's taken action, like that just creates opportunities for us to re-engage with people. And I think far too often people get so enamored by the vanity metrics of like, how many views did they get? I don't care how many people view the video. I want to have conversations with the people who viewed it. I don't care if it's 5 people, 500. I want to get into conversations, but the videos are used to create conversations, which conversations lead to appointments, appointments lead to conversions, and conversions lead to money. That's why we all do this. So the key for us is not just sending the videos, because I think that's maybe a third of the equation at best, maybe a quarter of the equation. That's not the most important part. That's just a part. The most important part is using the video, getting the metrics on who's doing something with the video, and then the follow-up. Like anytime you have a reason to call somebody, that call becomes exponentially easier. One of the hardest calls to make in real estate is the lead that you've had for 6 months, 12 months, 6 years. Trying to call a 6-year-old lead, what the hell do you say to a 6-year-old lead? Like, hey, it's Kyle, you registered on my website back in 1999. Remember me? Like, that is, nobody's making that phone call, right? Like that's like call avoidance, call reluctance happens because you don't have anything to say. That's the number one reason you don't make phone calls. You don't have anything to say, or you don't know what to say. But it becomes a lot easier to make that phone call when you have a reason to call and you have something to say and you know what to say.
Yeah. So think about that. What are some good topics? Should I sell my home? Should I buy a home? Is now a good time to invest in real estate? How could I see all homes for sale? Whatever. These are the questions people ask. Make a video with that question, send it out. Got it? And then make sure you track who clicks through to watch it. That's huge. Like 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people actually watch this on my list. Let's reach out to them. Text, phone call, email. Hey, man, this is Frank. I just see you subscribe to some of my videos I sent out. I recently sent one out about this topic. I just want to see if you have any questions about buying or selling a home. Notice how I said, I see you subscribe versus I see you watch the video. A little creepy. I like the I see you subscribe script. So there you guys go. So yeah, making videos on relevant topics with the formula I shared with you guys today, get them out now, and then calling the people that engage. But I'll give you one more too. These are called offers for immediate response. So you have your helpful educational videos, kind of what Gary Vaynerchuk would call your jab, 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 loosen them up, getting to know you, jab, jab, jab. And you can definitely get some business out of the jabs by calling the people that click the links. But every now and then, maybe once a month, you want to spike your whole database, your whole email list, your leads, your past clients, your sphere, everybody in your Gmail, everybody in your Outlook, everybody in your cell phone. By the way, all those people are getting your videos. They're getting Kyle's videos. But you want to spike them for immediate response. Like who actually might want to, who actually is going to give up their phone number and their email, probably for like someone to call them. So let me give you one that will work really well for you guys. I'll put in the chat. There you go. Let's take a look. So from whoever, your 2022 updated San Diego home price. I want to update you about your latest home price. So get the latest market sales price for your San Diego home for free. See how much your home sales price increased this year. Enter your home address here to find out what buyers will pay for it. And that will go to a landing page. Talk about that in a second. But there's no need for any video here because all I'm trying to do is getting them to click through to find out what their home is worth. So dear clients and friends, I'm just trying to let you know that I can tell you what your home is worth right now. If you're thinking of selling it, home prices in San Diego are up X% since the start of the pandemic. No secret there. You'll likely get a higher price for your home before the Fed starts raising rates even further. When this happens, prices are likely to stall or fall. Maybe, maybe not, whatever. But we're already starting to see this now that more buyers are priced out, given that 30-year rates are around 6%. Has that gone down, Kyle?
Yeah, we're
What are you
down
seeing?
5.5 on conventional. Yeah.
So you change that, right? So anyways, just enter your address and a few more details about your home in the tool below. And it will tell you, I will tell you what a buyer may pay for your house today. I pay money for these estimates. They're free to you. And you can click here, yada, yada, yada. But keep in mind that it's just an estimate. And if you send me a few photos of your home, I can factor in what the algorithms can't and give you a more accurate suggested listing price based upon your home's unique features. That's your real value as an agent versus like trying to be an algorithm that didn't work too well for Zillow offers. The bottom line is if you're thinking about selling this year, I'm here. Ask me anything, yada, yada. So this email goes out to your whole list and people click this link and then you send them to a whole home value page. This could be HomeBots. I mean, what are some of the home value services out there, Kyle, that you know of that work well?
HomeBot's the one. I don't think there's no competitor at this point in my eyes. HomeBot's the best there is.
HomeBot.ai, is that right?
Yep.
Yep.
And it's so cheap. Like I think it maybe costs like $50 and then you can get a lender to pay half of it. So HomeBot's great.
Yeah. So go get HomeBot and you can send it back to HomeBot. But even if you don't have that, you can send them to a simple landing page that you can make here. This is something we've made for customers that don't have something like HomeBot. But you'd have your logo here at the top and the free area home price estimate. Find out what your home is really worth based on our detailed analysis. You'll receive an accurate value based on current market trends with 7 simple questions. So here's how this works. Someone puts in their address, how soon they're thinking of selling, the condition of the home, what type of property it is, when the home was built, if they're working with an agent, anything else they want to say about the home, and their first name, last name, email, phone number, and submit. And you get a lead. And, Kyle, we have something like this we're putting together to go out to your list, which is huge. That will probably try back to HomeBot for you because you have it, right? This is a way to like spike response. But just to give you an idea, I mean, dude, we get these. I mean, we generate thousands of seller leads by sending these out to people's lists. And I had a little bit of time a couple of weeks ago to kind of do a little success story on that. I'll put this in the chat for you guys. But here's the full campaign for a client of ours out in Charleston. He sent it out and had 400 people opt in. I did kind of like a whole interview with him on it, and you can actually see the actual. Yeah, here's the actual email, right? And then when you click it, here's the actual landing page. Something like that. So those types of messages, you have the video scripts that are answering commonly asked questions that you follow that format and send out regularly, post on social media. And I walked you through how to put together a script that's not so cerebrally difficult. But in addition to just the videos and following up with people clicking the links that Kyle's team does, is from now and then, every now and then, send out an offer for immediate response back to a landing page. Let me give you one more. You guys are welcome to use all these in your business. My gift to you. Oh, here's a good one, Kyle. Do you have a rent to own program option for all your buyer leads that can't afford a home in San Diego?
It costs more to rent than to buy right now. That's stupid. You used to live
You
here. You know how it is.
You might be a little different in San Diego, but let me
Right?
give you one that's kind of hot right now. So I think it's called
like
Home.
$5,000 to rent a starter house here. It's crazy.
Yeah. There's Home Partners of America. I believe it's called
Okay.
Home Partners of America. They'll pay you 3% if you place a rent to own tenant. So here's another one from Kyle Whissel, updated rent to own listings. I want to help you buy a home if you're struggling to get a mortgage. So you take all of your buyer leads that can't afford a house, and there's more and more of those, right? And you tell them it's time to break up with their landlord. So go ahead and move into your dream home without a mortgage or down payment. Get pre-approved for rent to own program. Are you struggling to afford a home or get a mortgage? Well, I want to let you know that you can live in your dream home now while growing your built-in savings for a down payment. This can be done with the rent-to-own program. You can move now and buy later. These programs are making a big comeback with soaring home prices, tight inventory, student debt, wage stagnation, lagging credit scores, all the reasons why people can't buy. It's a simple process, et cetera, et cetera. I know how to navigate these rent-to-own programs. If you're a long-time renter and you want to get pre-approved, click here. And where does that go? Well, it goes to a landing page, right? So get rent-to-own approved. When are you planning to move? Where are you looking to live? Are you working with an agent? Or if yes, what's their name? Isn't that kind of cool? Are you applying with another person? If so, what's their name? What's your gross monthly income? What's your monthly rent right now? What's your primary income source? And finally, tell us about yourself. And that's where we get the lead. A little tip, by the way, for any of you guys that are marketers, you get a lot better response on your conversion pages if you ask some easy pre-qualification questions for people to start to get them to interact, and then ask for their contact information at the bottom. If you're driving people to a page where it's just straight up give me your contact information, it doesn't really work as well. Maybe drive them to a page that kind of just gets them to tap or to kind of interact and kind of get them a little invested in the form. And then you pop the contact information at the bottom. We tend to get higher conversion rates of people opting in, which is nice. So that's something else you guys can send out. And when you have a rent-to-own buyer, usually partner with the back end with somebody who can fulfill that. Kyle, what we're finding is like the real estate agent's turning into an affiliate, where the real estate agent generates all the buyer and seller conversations, and they have like all these companies that pay them a piece of the deal on the back end to offer like a wide array of solutions. Are you seeing more and more of that happening?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think some companies are screwing up there. They're trying to offer too much. They're trying to be like a one-stop shop for everything. And I think the generalists are going to struggle in this market. The specialists are the ones that are going to thrive. But I've seen companies, oh, we got this new product, we got this new product, we got this new product, we got this new product. Like, who are you? I don't even know what company you are anymore. So I think the companies that are really like, this is what we do, and if it's in our box, great, and if it's not, that's okay.
Don't do it.
Those are the companies who do best. Same thing in real estate. Like as agents, sometimes we're like, oh, I got to do this and this and this and that and that. It's like I don't do expires, I don't do FSBOs, I don't do canceled, I don't do door knocking. Like that's not my jam. I'm great with internet leads. Like that's my jam, and systems and processes. So we stay focused on that. We try to not go in a million different directions.
Cool. So dog's barking. So there we go. Do you guys have any questions? We wanted to go about 30 minutes. You guys came here because you want to know what topics are, the most relevant to send to your database right now. Other topics on the top of your mind. If you had to pick two questions, Kyle, let me ask you. If there were two questions everyone could Google right now, a question a consumer is asking, but they can Google and kind of come up with their own script. What would you say are the two most pressing questions agents need to be answering for their list right now?
I would say, how does inflation affect home prices? Because inflation is super topical right now and everybody is curious. And how does the Fed changing rates affect home values? Like those are the two things that are in the news so much right now. And that's the question that people want to know. And I'll be honest, like if you interview 100 agents, I bet you 80 of them can't accurately explain either of those. Probably 90 of them can't explain how those affect home prices. So, and in detail, they might know on the surface level, but most people can't explain that. So if you look at any survey that's ever done of like, how do people select the realtor they work with? Knowledge and trust are two of the top three things in every survey that's ever done. Well, if you can actually show people that you have the knowledge, that you understand these things better than anybody else, not only do you show them that you're knowledgeable, but because you're knowledgeable, they trust you. So you knock out two of the top three birds with one stone just by, kind of flexing that you know what the hell you're talking about. And so I think that's huge. One more thing I want to make sure we add before we wrap is one of the things we're doing right now is whenever we shoot a video, we're also, in addition, doing long form copy, which Frank, I know you love long form. Frank has been a long form copy guy forever. So we're taking the exact same video we shot and we're posting those on social in long form, because right now Facebook and Instagram are loving long copy. So if you can do long copy posts, just do an image that is, you know, like, look at my post from yesterday about inflation. Like, you just got to have an image that grabs attention. And then these long copy posts, they're killing it. Like, anytime I do long copy, it absolutely crushes right now on Facebook and Insta. So I would encourage you to take your video and then do a long copy post of the same thing you talked about in your video, because some people like to read, some people like to watch. So do the exact same thing, just do both.
Been doing that for 15 years, man. Writing
Yep.
the long form article. One of the things that we're switching to is rev.ai. So rev.ai will do a really good transcript of your video. And then it goes to a writer and they turn that into kind of more of a beautifully edited transcript of what you said. And we find that makes it a lot easier than having to write like a full blown article out of it. So it kind of makes that a little more simple. And I'll show everyone. Here's an example of something Kyle just sent out. Or actually, no, didn't send out. I did a search. Well, you did send out in October 2021. I don't know why this pulled up so early, but the point is the same. Is our real estate market about to change? Yep, it was. So here's kind of an example of, the headline with the question, good, solid, thumbnail. Here's the teaser copy that goes out that's part of the script, and then the call to actions here at the bottom, which works out really nice. Then you click that and it goes back to the website and people can consume the content. And then Kyle and his team work all the people that click that and engage with that to see if there's opportunities for conversation. So I know we're a bit over, but does anyone have any questions? Trista, thank you. Pamela, do you have any tips for social media titles to grab attention? Go check out Jarvis, Jarvis, or copy.ai. They kind of write those for you. And if it's not that, go Google headline formulas and just use a headline formula that are available all over the internet when you create your headlines to make them a little more powerful. Cool.
Sweet.
Anything else, Kyle? Thanks for doing this.
Good, man. I'm gonna go see my baby.